Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 9. My name is Xavier Robert, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu condemns heinous attacks in Plateau, orders arrest of culprits. Federal government begins payment of 20,000 naira to vulnerable groups in Cross River. Plus, UN concerns over Israeli strikes on central Gaza. Details of these stories and more in a moment. First, in the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu has condemned the attack in Plateau State, describing it as heinous. Recall that gunmen had stormed the over 15 communities in the Bokos and Barkin Ladi local government areas of the state on Christmas Eve, killing over 115 people. Several houses were set ablaze by the attackers on Sunday night. The gun-wielding and blood-curdling men also reportedly looted farm produce and destroyed property as they butchered the residents. No group has claimed responsibility for the tragic attack. Reacting to the incident, President Tinubu ordered security agencies to arrest the perpetrators of the attack. Meanwhile, President Tinubu has hailed the Secretary to the Government of the Federation SGF, George Akume, on his 70th birthday. Tinubu made this known in a statement by the presidential spokesperson, Aguri Ngelale. He stated that Akume is the most reliable citizen Nigeria can boast of. The president commended the SGF for his consistency and perpetual dedication to duty in coordinating the affairs, intervene in states battling political crisis if such development will affect the country. Presidential spokesman Ajuri Ngelale, who stated this during an interview, further disclosed that the Nigerian leader has had to intervene in political crisis in Ondo and Rivers State, stressing that despite criticisms claiming Tinubu's actions undermine the government of such states, he believes it was a move in the right direction. Ajuri also spoke about other national issues, including the impacts of the fuel subsidy removal and the rising costs of living. Admitting that the current administration inherited a lot of economic challenges, Ajuri Ngelale assured that his principal is putting things in place to tackle the issues. Elsewhere, Vice President Kashim Shettima and some state governors have paid a courtesy visit to President Bola Tinubu at his borderland home in Lagos State. Shettima and the governors visited the president to pay Christmas homage. The governors present include Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Dagba Biodun Oyebanji, Abdurrahman Abdurrazak of Lagos, Ogun, Ekiti and Kwara states, respectively. Others are Governors Abba Kabir Yusuf, Hope Uzodinma, Yahaya Bello, Dauda Lawal of Kano, Imo, Kogi and Zamfara states, respectively. Away from that now, the federal government has begun the payment of 20,000 naira to vulnerable groups in Cross River State as part of efforts to alleviate poverty in the country. The state governor, Basio II, who was joined by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, launched the process in Calabar. Otu hailed the initiative and said it would help reduce poverty among the vulnerable. The governor, however, said that the president needed the partnership of all to succeed in the task of taking 50 million Nigerians out of poverty. He expressed his administration's readiness to support the initiative and also collaborate with other initiatives of the federal government on poverty alleviation. Now from the Red Chamber, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has pledged the support of the National Assembly was in safe hands with President Tinubu at the helm of affairs, urging Nigerians not to relent in praying for the president. He added that in no time the country would come out stronger where all citizens will reap dividends of democracy. Now, in a separate development, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) has directed airlines to promptly share information about flight disruptions to enable passengers make informed travel decisions. The directive came on the heels of recent flight disruptions which inconvenienced air travelers. In a statement by its Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Michael Achimugu, the NCAA said it understood the challenges that affected passengers faced and empathized with them. The agency said its monitoring included comprehensive oversight of operations, noting that consumer protection officers were on the ground to supervise passenger handling procedures. It added that the monitoring would ensure that airlines adhered to the Nigeria Civil Aviation Regulations 2023, Part 19. On electoral matters now, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has released the timetable and schedule of activities for the February 3, 2024 by-elections. The PDP timetable, signed by the party's National Organizing Secretary Umar Bature, revealed that notice of primary election and Congress's to state chapter will begin on Wednesday, December 27, 2023. The sale of nominations, expression of interest and delegates forms will begin on Thursday, December 28, 2023, and the end on Wednesday, January 3, 2024. The primary election is slated for Monday, January 8, 2024, and appeals on the party primary are scheduled to be held on Tuesday, January 9, 2024. The party pegs the price for the expression of interest and nomination forms for the Senate, House of Representatives and House of Assembly at 3.5 million naira, 2.5 million naira and 600,000 naira respectively. Reports say the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) approved a timetable for conducting by-elections resulting from the resignation or demise of members of the national and state houses of assembly. In another development, the Enugu state government has said that it has deferred the reopening of one lane of the collapsed Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway bridge following expert advice. The government said that it received an advice from the project manager, Mohammed Fadi, not to reopen the bridge for safety purposes until it had been fully completed. The Commissioner for Information and Communication, Akaize Aka, made the disclosure in a statement issued in Enugu and made available to newsmen. Aka explained that based on the expert advice, it should, on completion, be subjected to a series of integrity tests to certify it fit for public use. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoino has urged the people of the state to cultivate the attitudes of brotherly love and gratitude in reflection of the purpose of Christmas and to intensify the atmosphere of peace, harmony and prosperity in the state. Governor Omoino gave the admonition while addressing worshippers at the United Evangelical Church, Awaiman Ona, where he shared fellowship with the immediate past Governor Udom Emmanuel, past and present leaders in the state, and other Christian faithful. He stressed that life was of great value and worth being grateful for, hence the need to commemorate God's love demonstrated in a gift of Jesus Christ for the salvation of man by living in love and harmony with one another. Governor No said his decision to share fellowship in Awaiman was to reaffirm his resolve to honor his predecessor and maintain the cordial relationship between them to reciprocate his peace he has instituted in the state, dismissing the notion of the immediate past governor putting any pressure on him as false. Earlier, the immediate past governor Udom Emmanuel thanked Governor Omoino for leading his team to join him in the Christmas service in Awaiman, affirming that no feud should be expected between him and the sitting governor, as there was no basis for such, adding that what he and all Akwa Ibom people owe Governor Eno are prayers to resolve the complexity of governance. Government House correspondent Jay Noah reports that the host minister of the church, Reverend Dukeme Udodo, in his sermon at the event, elaborated on the message of the angel on the birth of Jesus Christ in Luke 2:9-11, that as Christians celebrate Christmas, they should embrace the goodwill of God to man through his Messiah, Jesus. Still to come in the news. Maersk prepares to resume shipping through Red Sea. Do stay with us.
Season's greetings from Spectrum TV.
Season's greetings, Nigeria.
It's been an incredible 2023.
Merry Christmas, Nigeria.
Christmas is a period of love.
Christmas brings a different atmosphere.
From the thrills to the glamour. To the controversies.
What a year of business it has been.
We've been keeping you updated, entertained, informed, educated.
And that's why I'm here today to celebrate you and congratulate you for being a part of a success story.
Your patronage has been the cornerstone of our success.
Thank you for being a part of our production here. You are the reason it's been revolving colors of splendor.
And all this happened just because of you. Thank you so much for watching Spectrum Television.
Thank you so much for always staying glued on Spectrum Television.
Let's do this again next year.
A Merry Christmas.
A wonderful Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. As we go into a brand new year, 2024, I wish us a prosperous and amazing new year.
The Niger Delta, where nature's bounty thrives, there lies an opportunity for growth and prosperity. Introducing Dembarukas Limited, your trusted partner in palm tree cultivation. With our premium palm tree seedlings, you can be a part of a sustainable industry that offers so much more than just oil. Embrace the power of palm oil tree cultivation and unlock a world of possibilities. Join hands with us as we empower local communities and create a greener, more prosperous future. As the great poet once said, the palm tree stands tall, a symbol of strength and abundance. Dembarukas Limited, cultivating success, one palm tree at a time. Embrace the palm tree's gift and let nature nurture your dreams. To order your premium seedlings, call 0802 664 9683.
Business exists only the needs of the people, but there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, Advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTime's DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
When visions materialize, when ideas crystallize, when dreams become reality, it is not a time for pride, but for deep humility and reflective gratitude. In the voice of the birther of these brain children, Tough Media Group, owners of Spectrum TV, Planet FM and Tangsio FM, our revered chairman and CEO, Mr. Tony Afia, let us attempt to give words to just how grateful we are for your endless patronage.
As the year draws to a close, we find ourselves reflecting on the incredible journey we have shared throughout 2023. We want to express our deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for choosing Spectrum Television channels 421 and on free-to-air, Planet Radio 101.1 FM and Tangsio 102.7 FM as your news and entertainment partners. Your trust and loyalty have been the driving force behind our commitment to delivering top-notch services and a world-class viewing experience. Throughout the year, your patronage has not only supported us, but has also inspired us to continuously innovate and improve our offerings. We take great pride in providing you with a diverse range of programs, cutting-edge features, and exceptional customer service. Your satisfaction has remained our priority, and we are dedicated to ensuring that your television and radio experience is nothing short of exceptional. As we look forward to the upcoming year, we're excited about the possibilities that 2024 holds. We have exciting plans in store, including new viewing platforms, enhanced features, and even more ways to tailor your news and entertainment to suit your preferences. Our commitment to delivering unparalleled service remains unwavering, and we are eager to embark on this journey into the new year with you. However, we also recognize that challenges may arise and unforeseen circumstances can impact your experience. In the spirit of transparency and accountability, we want to assure you that our customer support team is ready to address any concerns you may have promptly. Your feedback is invaluable to us, and we encourage you to reach out if there are ways we can enhance your Spectrum television experience. My profound gratitude goes to His Excellency, Pastor Moino, Governor of Akwa Ibom State, for ensuring a positive business environment and for his invaluable support. It is our sincere prayer that the Biakoran Road will be completed during your administration. My special appreciation also goes to the Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, as well as the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor. Thank you for being worthy partners. Once again, thank you for choosing Spectrum Television, Planet Radio 101.1 FM, and Tangsio 102.7 FM. We genuinely appreciate your trust and partnership. We wish you and your loved ones a very Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year 2024.
You are reliable, dependable, unchangeable.
Season's greetings from Spectrum TV.
Many thanks for staying tuned. We're moving now to Africa, where the DR Congo government said that it will outlaw an opposition-led demonstration planned for Wednesday to protest alleged irregularities in last week's elections. 5 opposition presidential candidates informed the governor of Kinshasa in a letter published Saturday of their intention to organize the march. But with definitive results still not announced, the government said the protests will be disruptive. The opposition leaders who signed the letter include Martin Fayulu, who claimed he won last elections in 2018, and Denis Mukwege, the Nobel Peace Prize winner for his work with victims of wartime sexual violence. Meanwhile, Moise Katumbi, another candidate and former governor of the southeast Katanga region, called for the elections to be annulled. Still in Africa, jailed Senegalese opposition leader Ousmane Sonko has submitted his candidacy to contest a February presidential election with the Constitutional Council, despite the state's refusal to provide him the necessary documents. According to an official in their dissolved party, PASTEF, Sonko's backup, Bassirou Faye, has also filed to run. Oseno, like other candidates, Sonko had until December 20 to submit his candidacy and show he has collected enough signatures. Recall that last week, the national entity that runs elections in Senegal did not provide Sonko's representative with the documents needed to file. Meanwhile, Libya's stock market has resumed trading at a halt in the capital Tripoli after more than 9 years of closure because of political and security situation. The Prime Minister of the Government of National Unity, Abdul Hamid Al-Deiba, and the market's Chairman of Board of Directors, Bashir Mohammed, with other officials, made the announcement to journalists. Bashir said the bourse was one of the means to improve the Libyan economy. He added that the market's success would depend on the stability and development of the various sectors of the state. Now on the foreign scene, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has insisted peace can only be achieved in Gaza if Hamas is destroyed, the territory demilitarized, and Palestinian society de-radicalized, after warning the war is set to intensify. The declarations came as the World Health Organization reported harrowing accounts of entire families killed from Christmas Eve strikes on a refugee camp in Gaza. Relentless Israeli strikes have devastated the Palestinian territory, and the conflict has heightened tensions across the Middle East, with global pressure for a ceasefire mounting. But in an op-ed published in the Wall Street Journal on Monday night, Netanyahu vowed to stay on course. In a related development, Israel's military said today an anti-tank missile fired by the Lebanese Hezbollah group wounded 9 soldiers as they rescued a civilian who was injured in another cross-border strike. According to the army, in an earlier statement, missile had hit a Greek Orthodox church in the village of Igrit. Meanwhile, the Hilltop Church is located in Igrit, an abandoned Palestinian Christian village whose people were forced to leave during the 1948 war and the creation of Israel. Meanwhile, the Palestinian telecommunications company Paltel has said that internet and telephone services were cut across the war-torn Gaza Strip today, marking the 4th such communications breakdown since the war began on October 7. According to the Gazan Health Ministry, the disruption came as fresh Israeli strikes rained down on the besieged Palestinian enclave, hitting 100 targets in 24 hours and killing at least 30 people. In the meantime, the United Nations said today it was gravely concerned by Israel's continued bombardment of the central Gaza Strip and urged Israeli forces to take all available measures to protect the civilians. The UN Human Rights Office told newsmen that all attacks had to adhere to international humanitarian law. Meanwhile, the health ministry in Gaza said an Israeli airstrike killed at least 70 people on Sunday at the Al-Maghazi refugee camp. Recall that the Hamas militant group reported 50 strikes in central areas early on Monday, including in the Nusayrat refugee camp. Still on the foreign scene now. U.S. military has attacked Iranian-backed militant groups in Iraq hours after U.S. personnel were injured in a drone strike on a U.S. airbase there. The U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said 3 sites used by Kataib Hezbollah and other groups were hit in response to attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria. He noted that the U.S. strikes were condemned by Iraq as a clear hostile act. Austin said the attack, which he called necessary and proportionate, was authorized by President Joe Biden. Elsewhere, Russia has confirmed that one of its warships has been damaged in a Ukrainian attack on a Black Sea port. It said the airstrike took place at Feodosia in Russian-occupied Crimea earlier today. Russia's Ministry of Defense noted that the large landing ship Novocherkassk was struck by Ukrainian aircraft carrying guided missiles. Meanwhile, the head of the Ukrainian Air Force said earlier its warplanes had destroyed the ship. In the meantime, a charter plane that was grounded in France for a human trafficking investigation arrived in India with 276 Indians aboard today. Reports say the passengers had been heading to Nicaragua but were instead blocked inside a rural French airport for 4 days in an exceptional holiday ordeal. Upon arrival in Mumbai, the passengers filed out of the airport without speaking publicly about what they have been through or where they would go next, carrying backpacks or small suitcases. Some wore hoods or masks to conceal their identities. Meanwhile, a total of 303 passengers had originally boarded the Legend Airlines A340 plane last week in Fujairah Airport in the United Arab Emirates for a flight to Managua, Nicaragua. Elsewhere, homelessness in rural England has risen by 40% in 5 years, with many sleeping in the open air, tents or makeshift shelters. A cost of living crisis in the G7 nation and world's 6th biggest economy has left many Britons struggling to make ends meet as bills for food, energy, rent and mortgages increase. So on the foreign scene, French police today arrested a man suspected of murdering a mother and her 4 children, 4 dead at home on Christmas Day, a law enforcement source had said. According to local prosecutor Jean-Baptiste Bladier, authorities discovered the bodies of the woman and her children aged 9 months, 4, 7 and 10 years old in their flat in the town of Meuse, east of Paris, after worried relatives sounded the alarm. Meanwhile, the police source said the main suspect had been detained in the nearby town of Sèvres. And now it's time for the latest business and stock market stories. Here is Blessing Dixon.
Good evening, it's Business News and I am Blessing Dixon. In the news, Danish shipping giant Maersk has said it is preparing to resume shipping operations through the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. The move follows the deployment of the international military operation to prevent attacks on commercial ships by Yemen's Houthi rebels. Several firms have paused shipments via the Red Sea following the attacks. German shipping firm Hapag-Lloyd has said it will decide on Wednesday whether to resume using the route. The Red Sea is one of the world's most important routes for oil and liquefied natural gas shipments, as well as consumer goods. Away from that now, Toyota-owned car maker Daihatsu has closed all 4 of its plants until the end of January after admitting it had falsified safety tests. Daihatsu admitted that it had been manipulating safety tests on 64 makes for 3 decades. Its headquarters in Osaka, Japan, was the last to close on 25th December. The scandal put in jeopardy 9,000 workers in the country and could affect global car giant Toyota's reputation. Of the 64 models involved in the scandal, 24 are sold with Toyota branding. In Nigeria, the federal government has announced that it will implement a new regulatory framework for digital money lenders, DMLs, also known as loan apps. The Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, Mr. Babatunde Irokera, stated this. He said, the new regulations will address Nigerians' rising indebtedness to DMLs. Irukera noted that the sector's big problem is that DMLs resort to abuse on loan recovery. He added that implementing the Commission's interim framework has led to an 80% reduction in the harassment and defamatory messages from loan apps. Still in Nigeria, Jim Obeze, the special investigator appointed by President Bola Tinubu to probe the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN's) activities, has invited 3 top officials of Titan Trust Bank to clarify the alleged fraudulent acquisition of Union Bank. According to the invitation letter signed by the head of operations, Office of the Special Investigator, DCP Eloho Opoziakpo, the bank officials summoned are the chairman of Tropical General Investment Group's Cornelius Vink, managing director of the group Raul Savera, and the chairman of Titan Trust Bank, Babatunde Limo. The bank's top officials were given December 28, 2023 at 2 p.m. to appear before the special investigators in Abuja. Opoziakpo said the investigative panel extended another invitation to the 3 men to counter TTB's allegation that they were not given a fair hearing. He also told them that if they fail to honor the invitation, it will be construed that they have decided to forfeit their purported shareholdings in TTB and Union Bank of Nigeria, irrespective of which vehicle they are using to own their purported shares. Meanwhile, the Nigerian stock market returns after the holidays. This is all on business news, and back to Xavier Robert for the rest of the news. Good evening.
Many thanks, Blessing. Still to come in the news. Burundi to host falconets in Dar es Salaam. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying tuned. Now in health, the head of the WHO said today that the world needs to properly prepare for future pandemics after finally ending 3 years of COVID crisis, pain and loss. In his end-of-year message, World Health Organization WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus said 2023 had marked a turning point in fighting major health challenges, but had also brought immense and avoidable suffering. Tedros called for ramped-up relief efforts for the Gaza Strip and urged nations to seal a monumental pandemic accord to plug preparedness gaps that were exposed during the pandemic. Recall that Tedros declared an end to COVID-19 as an international public health emergency in May. Still in health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention (NCDC) has warned that doctors, nurses and other health workers providing direct patient care without standard precautions are at higher risk of Lassa fever infection. The NCDC made this known on its social media handles and called for constant use of personal protective equipment, to prevent healthcare workers from contracting the disease. According to the agency, Lassa fever is an acute viral hemorrhagic fever caused by the Lassa virus. It said the virus spreads through direct contact with the urine, feces, saliva, or blood of infected rats, contact with objects, household items, and surfaces contaminated with the urine, feces, saliva, or blood of infected rats. Meanwhile, medical experts have advised that sufficient sleep is needed for good maternal and fetal development during pregnancy. The physicians said lack of quality sleep increases pregnancy complications and affects the optimal development of the baby. According to them, women who do not get enough sleep during pregnancy may be at a higher risk of developing pregnancy-related complications that include higher blood pressure and gestational diabetes. They also said that such women may experience prolonged labor and higher rates of cesarean sections, especially for those who get less than 6 hours of sleep over the course of 24 hours. Let's head over now to Isaac for latest sports stories.
Yes, go now.
All right, thank you so much and good evening. In sports, World Football Governing Body, FIFA, has moved the 2024 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup final qualifying round first leg match between Nigeria and Burundi from Bujumbura to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. FIFA, who deemed the pitch in Bujumbura unfit to host the game, also clarified that following the expansion of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup to a 24-team tournament from the 16-team event that it was at the last edition in Costa Rica last year, and the granting of 2 most lost to Africa, the fixture between Nigeria and Burundi will be the final qualifying round, with the winner over 2 picks picking up a ticket to Colombia. Burundi will now host the Falconets at the Azam Stadium complex in Dar es Salaam, the same venue where the Falconets played the 1-1 draw with their Tanzanian counterpart in the last round, before edging the Tanzanians 2-1 in Abuja to reach the stage. Meanwhile, all 25 players invited by head coach Chris Musa Danjuma for the fixture have been notified to arrive in the federal capital, Abuja, on Wednesday, 27th December 2023, as training sessions for the first leg match commence on the following day. Well, moving on to France, Moses Simon is up for Nantes Player of the Month award for the month of December. Simon will battle 3 of his teammates for the individual gong. The other 3 players nominated for the award are Adban Lafont, Jean-Charles Cassieto, and Florent Moller. The 28-year-old featured in 4 Ligue 1 games for Nantes in December. The explosive winger was in action for 90 minutes in the 4 games. Simon, however, failed to register a goal or an assist in the 4 outings. The club fans have until January 3rd, 2024 to vote for the player of their choice. Well, in boxing, American boxer Deontay Wilder has vowed to bounce back to winning ways after a shock loss to Joseph Parker at the weekend in Saudi Arabia. Regarded as a bronze bomber, Wilder, however, spotted to a surprising defeat by unanimous decision at the hands of Parker in an encounter that he was mostly favored to win. The disappointing performance left more questions and answers about his future, including a potential Wilder-Joshua fight. However, in a chat with newsmen, Wilder stated that he's a happy fighter and will bounce back to winning ways very soon. Well, that's it on sports. My name is Isaac. Happy Boxing Day and good evening.
Isaac, now on entertainment news, famous American rapper Kanye Omari West, popularly known as Kanye West or Ye, has finally tendered a public apology to the Jewish community over his anti-Semitic comments. This is coming 1 year after the singer declared war on the Jewish community following his controversial Paris Fashion Week show, where he showcased his White Lives Matter shirts. Recall that Kanye had, in October 2022, lost lucrative contracts with Adidas and Balenciaga, led to losing his billionaire status. He was also banned from X platform and Instagram after saying he was going to go death on Jewish people in a tweet. In a new development on his Instagram page today, the 46-year-old, however, posted a message written in Hebrew which translates to, "I sincerely apologize to the Jewish community for any unintended outburst caused by my words or actions." Still on entertainment news, veteran Nigerian comedian Tunyota Aluya Apobome, popularly known as Alibaba, has recounted how his dad kept malice with him for a decade for choosing comedy over becoming a lawyer. Featuring as a guest in the Christmas edition of the Honest Bunch podcast, Alibaba recalled leaving the university to inform his dad about his intention to become a comedian and how his reaction forced him to abscond from home. He said he became determined to be a successful comedian in a bid to prove his father wrong. Meanwhile, controversial Nollywood actor Yul Edochie has revealed that his veteran colleague Emeka Ike was one of those who inspired him to go into acting. He disclosed this while welcoming the legendary thespian back to the cinema with Tonyin Abraham's Malaika. Edochie also encouraged Emeka Ike not to allow the ongoing saga between him and his ex-wife pull him down. And lastly, on entertainment tonight, Nigerian singer Onyekanshola Aderibibe, popularly known as Irish Star, has revealed the inspiration behind her stage name. She said her stage name was partly her record label boss Don Jazzy's idea. According to her, she coined Ira while the Marvin Records boss added the suffix Star. Aderibibe said before signing to Marvin, she was known as Oyin, a nick of her first name, Onyekanshola. Now that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to the YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You've been watching Spectrum News at 9. My name is Saivya Robert. Have a good night.